Welcome to another new episode of Himalayan Wisdom Series with Pyramid Times. Myself, Veena Survu, Holistic Healer and Creative Director at Pyramid Times. And we have with us Meditation Master, Dr. Tirupati Reddy Sir, a Himalayan Master and also author of 3 engineering textbooks. He is currently professor at an engineering college. And Sir is currently joining us from Jagannath Ghat in Kurnool, Andhra Pradesh, India at his meditation center. So today Sir will take us through the importance of Himalayas and how they will help us to do our sadhana, elevate our energy and also contributes to our evolution. With this, I welcome Dr. Tirupati Reddy Sir.
Thank you.
Welcome, Sir. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you to Veena for your nice introduction.
Yes, sir. Sir, when we go to Himalayas for sadhana, can we do in our homes itself? What is the importance of visiting Himalayas?
Yes, very nice question. So many thousands of years in ancient age. If you see 40,000 years back or 50,000 years ago, all over the world, they are always looking towards the Himalayas because thousands of years, Himalayas are attracting the spiritual seekers to know the purpose of the life or towards the enlightenment. Because if, for example, if we do the meditation in our home, and if you do the meditation now where I am sitting here, Jagannath Ghattu, there is a lot of difference on hills. So always Himalayan sages said that spiritual, whatever the seekers are doing, the spiritual person do the meditation in 3 places. First one is on the banks of the rivers. Second one is peaks of the mountains. These are the main 2 energetic places to do the meditation. And also, why Himalayas are important to do the meditation, not here. You are asking the question. So, for example, if you take the Pyramid Spiritual Society, our channel is the Pyramid Times. You are saying that Pyramid Masters, I am also Pyramid Master. We are saying that if you do the meditation in a pyramid instead of in home, it gives the 3 times faster than at home. So, it gives 3 times faster. I am saying is, so that is the pyramid is the energy, cosmic energy absorbing structure. So it always absorbs the cosmic energy. So if you see here, if you do the meditation at home, that will be faster than the faster if you do the meditation at the pyramid 3 times faster. Like that, if Himalayas, that main purpose is the beauty of the Himalayas, that serenity, that tranquility, and that silence, and the nature and the beauty of the Himalayas, and that energies which have been provided, the sages, saints, and yogis have been doing a lot of sadhana in thousands of years. The Himalaya mountains became a energy portals. It's not just like a mountains, just like rocks and trees. It is something beyond the rocks and trees, just like beyond the tourist place. It has so that Himalayas called the divine lands. So if you do the meditation in Himalayas, it gives the 100 times faster than what we do the meditation here. That much of energy we'll get. We'll become a simply get the silence in the Himalayas. If you no need to make any efforts to do the meditation in Himalayas, naturally we get into flow of the meditation, just like a flow of the river. Just like there is no force, there is no efforts to do the river to flow and merge in the ocean. Like that, our consciousness, our wisdom, whatever our thoughts, our will become a silence when you go to the Himalayas because of that nature. And that beauty of the Himalayas, if you see the mountains, that snow hills and changes the colors, and thousands of lakes, and that Ganga river, it is called the divine river. So if you go to the somewhat higher peaks of the Himalayas, if you go to Badrinath, the Kedarnath, Mahavatar Babaji caves, Dwara Hut, and Gangotri, and Mount Kailas and Manasarovar, in those places, if you do, here 1,000 days meditation. If you go there, if you do 1 day meditation, you will get 1,000 times faster. That have been proved. That so many sages have proved that. So it is very important so that whatever the persons in throughout the world, when they came into the spiritual path, first they have the desire, ambition, and aspiration. First in his lifetime to go to the Himalayas and do the sadhana. If real seekers, real spiritual seekers, serious spiritual seekers. So previously they said go to the Kasi, Varanasi in or ancient days, and another place is Himalayas. So this is the place where Mahavatar Babaji and so many sages, mystics, and that serenity, that beauty, when you go that just sit in mountains or banks of the Ganga, just 2 to 3 minutes or 5 minutes, our mind become a calm, mind become a no thought stage, and will merge into the nature consciousness. Our soul consciousness is connects to the supreme consciousness, and will start to take the energy from the Himalayas. So many foreigners just came into Himalayas and sit on the banks of the Ganga and the mountains and in front of the foothills of the snow hills, and just they are watching without any judgment, without any sadhana, any meditation. Just they are open the eyes and see the mountains slowly, slowly. Like that, they hours together they spend into the nature. Will become a harmony with the nature. That is the main point. Why should we go to the Himalayas? We should become a harmony with the trees, birds, animals, nature, and also that energies is very important that place. So when I was studied so many books regarding Himalayan mountains, I had a huge picture in my mind regarding that mystics, sages, swamijis. They have the hermitages, they have the caves, they have the monasteries. They are doing the sadhana without food, without any requirements, any needs of the physical body, and they always living for hundreds of years. I had in my mind from the childhood onwards, and it go on intensified when I became into the spiritual path. I had a huge picture when I went there. That picture is somewhat very dangerous and critical, but got a lot of energies, a lot of that inner transformation, inner self-realization, that become a faster, more 100 times, 1,000 times faster our meditation if you go to the Himalayas. So first one is
Yes.
the nature, that energies, and other things, whatever the Ganga and other that medicinic and whatever the thing in nature, merge into that their what are the caves and the mountains and the nature, the divine power is there. Basically, that is called the divine lands, divine river. Rivers, thousands of rivers are flowing, snow melt and flowing the rivers like that. So this is the
So,
basic thing. Why we should go to the Himalayas? Why should not do the meditation here?
yes, sir, very beautifully explained, sir. Even many foreigners like Steve Jobs also visited our India and Himalayas, and where he got the transformation to move forward in a different direction in his life. And many enthusiastic in spirituality are looking to visit, especially India, for their spiritual transformation and growth. And Himalayas are, as you explained, will be a very great contribution. As you said, it accelerates their growth. Maybe it helps in energy and transformation levels like 1,000 times. It's very beautifully told, sir. So these spiritual seekers who wants to go to Himalayas for the first time, what would you suggest to them? How do they start their journey?
Yes, yes. But first thing is they have the strong desire. First, they have to decide whether do or die situations, whether I want to know myself, I want to go to the purpose of the life. One has to ready to face any situations, because they have a sudden change in the climate in the Himalayas, sudden landslides and sudden rainfall, huge rainfall. suddenly river water levels abnormally increases. And when we go on the very narrow path, roads are very dangerous. When you go in turnings, another having some vehicles coming very small single roads, and if you see side having the 5,000 feet, 7,000 feet, everything. So when we surrender to the gurus, when we surrender to the nature, we are ready to know. Previously, our elders said that, our grandfathers like that, when they went to the Varanasi, they forgot about whether he will come or not. They thought that they might have dead when they went to the Varanasi. Every responsibilities, everything they have been completed, and they were started to go to the Kasi. Like that, if you go to the Himalayas, you have that strong determination whether you will get the food or not. Not you don't think to go for just for enjoying the pilgrimage, tourists, or you go to the mountains, then you will suffer it. So as a basically, if you want to know yourself, if you want to for self transformation, self realization, then it is okay. First, basically, first thing is we have the first place. Generally, we should go to the Haridwar in this side. First, they go to the Haridwar. That is the entrance to the Himalayas. But I don't feel Haridwar is a spiritual place. So many thousands of ashramas, but we don't get any a serious sadhana and nature, and that is somewhat commercial culture and mixture in Haridwar. So we need to go to the Rishikesh first. After Haridwar, just if you visit and 1 day or 2 days, something is okay. But for real sadhana, real spirituality starts from the Rishikesh. Rishikesh is the very divine powers and huge ashramas available. So from here, Hyderabad and Bangalore, everywhere we have the flights to go to the Dehradun. Dehradun, you know that Dehradun is the very famous place. Dehradun is 25 kilometers from the Rishikesh. If you want to go travel by train, it can go to the Delhi, and you have the connected from Delhi to Rishikesh. You have the bus ride, number of buses like that. If you want to save the time and go to by flight, get we have the flights from Hyderabad to Dehradun connected to the Delhi, and now it is available direct flight from Hyderabad and some places to the Dehradun. From Dehradun to we have the 30 kilometers to the Rishikesh. Rishikesh, first spiritual seekers, first they want to go to the Himalayas. We have the Garhwala region, Kumulain region. It is called the Garhwala region. This is some busy area, Badrinath, Kedarnath, this is everything. Kumulain region means that is Mahatar Babaji Caves, Dwara Hut, these all are Haidekan Baba Ashram, these all are Kumulain region that we will discuss later. So in Rishikesh is the very beautiful place. You know that when I was uh, started my journey, before that, since 10 years, I have been searching in net, and I have seen the so many photos and pictures of the Rishikesh, very beautiful in Ganga. That side, outer side, having the so many hundreds of ashramas. This side, banks of the Ganga, we have the so many hundreds of ashramas and the surroundings of Rishikesh. Then from Rishikesh onwards, we'll start the upper side places, Badrinath. So from Rishikesh, we'll start. Ganga starts from very purity, and Rishikesh also having the very purity water Ganga. After that, it comes to the Haridwar, then slowly it is become a polluted. So first place we need to go to the Rishikesh. We have to spend at least 1 week in the Rishikesh, because so many master Maharshi Mahesh Yogi, Swami Rama, and Paramsa Yogananda, and other whatever the Jaggi Vasudeva now, Ravi Shankar, whoever Vivekananda, whoever Dayananda Saraswati, Shivananda, everybody, whatever the masters, gurus went to the Himalayas to do the sadhana. First, they went to the Rishikesh and spent a lot of time, some 6 months or 1 year, because so many ashramas, so many basics we need to know first, where to go, what is the soul, and what is the spiritual knowledge, what is the meditation, what is the yoga, what is the Vedas, who am I? These are all the basic questions we need to get the answers in the Rishikesh itself. Because from the ashramas, if you spend in the Rishikesh, if you will spend some time. Otherwise, if you will go to the directly to the higher planes, higher level planes, we have to we don't know where to go. We have the weather conditions, and in upper places, we don't know where to go and how to do, and it is very difficult. So first, if we spend in the Rishikesh some period of time, we got lot of information. Everything is available in the Rishikesh. Either Gnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, Hatha Yoga, everything it teaches in the Rishikesh itself, because thousands of sages, yogis, and masters and foreigners are staying in the Rishikesh itself. First, they learn basic things and get the information. And also our body needs to prepare itself. That is very important. If you go to higher planes, it is very difficult to 7,000 feet, 8,000 feet, 10,000 feet. The lack of oxygen, and another sudden accidents and everything, and food problems and everything. If you stay some period of time in Rishikesh, our body also need to prepare ourselves for further places to go, and also to get some hatha yoga, some kriya yoga, something. We need to protect our body through yoga and pranayama. Meditation itself, we cannot protect ourselves in initial stage in Himalayas. That is very important. Some mudras, because I learned when I got the heart attack, when I went to the first time to the 7,000 feet, I have been faced a lot of problems, breathing problem and walking problem, and everything, cold, very cold, high cold. It's very difficult, blood circulation, blood flow, everything. At the situation I was faced, but I was ready to face anything, but I was surrendered to that nature, and I have prepared mentally, my soul consciousness. I decided we are the gods, we have the unlimited potential. Some Mahathar Babaji, some nature protects us. Like that, I believed, and surrounded emotionally and physically, mentally, and or total my mind and my body. I have been prepared. Then immediately I got the lot of protection from the gurus and a lot of mudras, yogas, pranayamas. These all are hatha yoga is very, very essential when you go to the Himalayas. If you take whatever you want to eat, like here, michi bhajis or something, biryanis or and food, rice and everything, and if you just do the meditation, everything will clear. No, don't think like that. You have your body is to prepared. You need to walk daily for 15 to 25 kilometers per day. Have to ready, and the weather conditions. So many persons having the some allergy, whatever the some resistance or something to travel in the these places, hill rides and all these things. We have the some problems, everything. So if you will get some health issue also, nobody will protect you there, because at the evenings after 5 o'clock, some places at the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, it becomes a darkness because of 5,000 to 6,000 feet hills comes into obstruction to the sunlight. It's as a screen like that shield acts as a so suddenly rain and suddenly accidents, suddenly everything. So Rishikesh is the very important place and a beautiful place also. I always likes, if I don't find the time to go to upper hills, I use it to go to the Rishikesh in between. Always we have to spend just to sit on the banks of the Ganga and watch the Ganga and watch the mountains and take bath in the Ganga river, very medicinal river. When the Britishers, they were ruled our country in India, when they were traveled from India to London by ship, at that time didn't have any flights like that. They filled a total ship with the Ganga water. When they traveled from India to London, they didn't get any requirement to replacement of the water, stagnate of the water, and like that. When they came back from London to India, they used to replace the water 3 times or 4 times. So we don't know what is that power, medicinal power. There is no river water in the world like Ganga water, medicinal that like energy that medicinal plants and water that so many scientists and other doctors and others have a lot of research on Ganga water. That is if you take the bath, foreigners, I seen so many, just Ganga river means so many stones, huge number of stones inside the river. Just they sit on the stone and put the foot inside the river and just sit down without any meditation. After 2 hours, 3 hours, their diseases become vanish after 1 month or 2 months. They become a normal if they sit in that much of no pollution, that air, and they have the gurus some tradition culture in the Rishikesh. There is no non-veg. There is no non-veg shops in the Rishikesh. There is no wine shops in the Rishikesh, and everybody should be vegetarian there, and all the ashramas and no pollution, no pesticides entered in that. Every vegetable, fruits, if you eat in the Rishikesh, very beautiful without organic and that nature. So that Rishikesh, I suggest all the seekers initially go to the Dehradun, go to the Rishikesh. So many ashramas available. We have to stay there and do the meditation and meet the so many ashramas to do whatever your path, whether you are in Bhakti Yoga, whether you are in worship, or in Japa, whether you are in a yoga, whether you are in a Kundalini yoga, whether you are in a healing process, like you, some Reiki healing or something you are doing, very nice, and some healing masters are available. There is a huge demand for the foreigners. And if you have in the Raja Yoga, do the meditation in sadhana. If you are in a Kriya Yoga, or if you want to simply stay in the nature, you have the so many caves are available, so many things, so many outside hills, so many rooms and available ashramas also available, thousands of ashramas. But you need to book in advance, because March to June, it is very huge demand in the Himalayas. You know that Chardham Yatra, Badrinath, Chadarnath, so many lakhs of people crowded. My suggestion is, if you are really seekers, myself always go to the Himalayas in August to October. This is the best place. Nobody comes. It is very peaceful. If you go to in November, in Rishikesh, used to go to November because very cool. Nobody comes. Already existing people also went to their native places because of very uh, cool and weather. I used to travel August to November. It is the very peaceful and the best time to travel to the Himalayas. So this is the beginners. Rishikesh is the place for do the meditation.
So you beautifully guided our viewers where to start going to Himalayas. It's Rishikesh to start with, and how we should prepare our body and not to go to higher ranges in the mountains immediately. First, we have to strengthen our physical body, the mindset and emotional body to deal with the challenges that will be faced there. That's very beautifully explained, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Uh, and also the importance of medicinal value of the Ganges. It's very beautiful. We don't know what mysticism is there in those waters. Definitely, we are looking forward to experience the miracles of Ganges as well. And what are the books that inspired you to go to Himalayas, sir? Can you tell some 4 or 5 books?
Okay. Basically, so many books. Actually, I have read around 20,000 books. But regarding Himalayas, I was inspired some around 10 books. So basically, now we will discuss about now today some 3 to 4 books, because of next series we will discuss another 3 to 4 books. So first book I was inspired that in Himalayas word, I got it from the autobiography of Yogi Paramahansa Yogananda, because how he did not, everybody got the question. Paramahansa Yogananda nowhere related to Himalayas, because you don't know about that. Everybody should know that first Yogadasa Sangha Society was established in Dwarahati Himalayas, Mahatara Babaji caves, very near to the Mahatara Babaji caves. Why I was inspired that? Because of Lahiri Mahasaya. In that book, Kriya Yoga started from the Lahiri Mahasaya in the world. So, Params Yogananda is the author of that book. You know that everybody, that book is very famous. His guru is the Yukteswara Giri, and his guru is Lahiri Mahasaya, and his guru is, you know, that Mahavtar Babaji, you know, that living in thousands of years in the Himalayas. So, once Lahiri Mahasaya suddenly he has been doing a job in Kashi, Varanasi, and suddenly he got the transfer from his job from Kashi to Himalayas, Raniket. That was a very higher place near to the Mahatar Babaji caves. When we go to the Dwarahat, we will get it place, Raniket, suddenly. He was surprised because at that time there were no transport and he went to by walk and horse riding and months together to go to that place. He went to that place and he was surprised. He was very much disappointed. Why I left the family and came to this Himalayas, very dangerous. Why this should happen like that? Anyway, he was a spiritual being. Then he left to the nature and he used to walking on the mountains. On second day or third day, he was transferred immediately. Mahathir Babaji called him. Suddenly appeared at the place of Raniket. When he called to the Lahiri Mahasaya, just he look back to somebody is calling, who is that person like that? Then you only I am calling Lahiri Mahasaya, you only I am calling, come here, Mahatara Babaji. Call him and they went to the some cave. That was both, he is a disabled in previous incarnation of Mahatara Babaji. Both were sit together. Then he was initiated that Kriya Yoga to Lahiri Master because we don't want to go in depth to the details. So initiated to Lahiri Master and he said that Lahiri Master did not interest, you could not go back to the Kasi because once we get the darshana of appearance of Mahatma Babaji, nobody, no soul is interested to go back to the, he wanted to, he wanted to spend with Mahathir Babaji, but he said that you should go to the Kashi, then you will spread the Kriya Yoga to the world because, and you are the role model to the world when we are in the physical world, when we do the marriage, when we do the job, then even though we will get the enlightenment in the same incarnation, you should be the best example to the world. And the Kriya Yoga is the best process. You have to teach the people so that you should go. Then he came back to the Kasi, and then you know that it goes to
Yes.
the Yukteswar Giri and Paramahansa Yogananda. Then Paramahansa Yogananda spread to the event to the America, and he was established Yoda Satsanga Society in America, and he was spent nearly 30 years in America. In that book, once he came back to the India, he in that book he met so many sages here, Nirahari Yogini and Ravana Maharshi, lots of so many Himalayan yogis, and he met and traveled throughout the India. And he was established Ramchi and other places, Himalayas, Yogadasa Sangha societies. He spread Kriya Yoga, and America also. He was spent nearly 30 years. And once his guru, when he came back to India, Yukteswar Giri, he was vacated the body. Then he was very much disappointed. He was cried so many days, and he got very sorrow and a painful situation. Then suddenly, Yukteswar Giri was appeared in a astral form. He appeared as a physical body to the Param Yogananda and explained everything in that book. What is the life after death? That was a very interesting if you see that book. Then he came out of that. There is no death, and he got the detachment from soul. We are not a physical body. Soul doesn't have any death for ourselves. So we are the eternal beings like that, you know. So then, like that, that book was after Param Sagananda also. he was vacated the body. After 1 week also, his body, there was no smell, no anything. It's like when he was leaving that body also 7 days. So the best message of Paramahansa Yogananda is he always emphasized the sadhana. He always said that when we wake up the morning, first start the day with the meditation, because we need to have the gratitude to the nature, because given the life, wake up today. And before going to bed, before sleep, one should do the meditation and go to the nidra, yoga nidra. These two are very important. He said that whatever the position you achieved, sadhana is very important. As the till last breath of our life, we need to get the sadhana. This is the very wonderful book. Second book is the Himalayan Living with Himalayan Masters by the Swami Rama. It was a very inspiring book because he is the person. I always loved Swami Rama very much. I was inspired him because he was spent almost 40 years in the Himalayas. Nobody spent, so many yogis are staying in Himalayas 30 years, 40 years. But after that, when they came into the world, and he was established and taught so many techniques, and whatever he was achieved in 40 years in the Himalayas, that was brought to the people public in throughout the world. And at the childhood itself, he went to the Himalayas. These are the best examples. He doesn't know about the guru and all these things. So guru came to his home before his birth, and he said that at this age I will bring to him your son to the Himalayas. At the age of some 7 years, like that, Swami Rama, guru, took him to the Himalayas, and 30 to 40 years he was spent in the Himalayas. He has given a lot of freedom, and he went to the so many gurus, so many sages, and that Swami Rama, that see that in that book mentioned that beauty of the Himalayas, snow hills, daily is to spend in the front of the Mount Kailas and Manasarovar and Gangotri. A lot of so many sages, yogis, what his experiences was mentioned in that book. Everything is miracles. If you see the mystics, his experiences, because this Swadhyam is very important, because we should not. We don't have the opportunity to meet the Swami Rama. If you read that book, then we will experience that whatever the process of the spirituality, where we are, how it, these books gives a lot of inspiration to us to go further, because it is not possible to meet all the living masters also nowadays. Master is living. We don't have the opportunity to meet like that. So and also Buddha, Osho. In that at that time we didn't have the opportunity to meet them. So like that, books gives a lot of inspiration. Swami Rama met so many sages, and then he came back to, and also he went to the his guru also had hundreds of years, and his guru's guru, like that. He went to the Tibet also. He met some thousands of years yogi. His Parama Guru, it is called. He got so many techniques and sadhanas, and he came back. And he was, according to Guru Vishesh, he went to the America, and Yoga Institute of Science, and this established himself, and he was established some very big hospital in Dehradun. He was the scientific approach, yoga, breathing techniques. He always said diaphragm breathing, like that. If you do the meditation, first you take the like that and put in a under the belly and take long breath. So like that, he always emphasized the breathing techniques. He was established ashram in Rishikesh, and also Sadha Gramam. It's a very beautiful ashram. His disciple, this Veda Bharati, also next that was handed over, and was established breathing, how to take the breath. This is very important. There is a connection between the soul and physical body is the breath only. So how to take the breath while talking, while eating, while sleeping, and everything. He always emphasized about the food, sex, sleep, and self-preservation. These four. He used to sleep only 2.5 hours per day. So every lot of techniques. So this book was very interesting. And if you see, once he got the opportunity in the Himalayas, some Petadipati post Kanchikam Petadipati, he went there. He got a lot of powers, and one day suddenly, without any information, and ran away from the ashram. And so many experiences, beautiful experiences. Everything is practical. So why I am suggesting these books, this practical masters and practical experiences, very very important in meditation. Theory is not this experience. Meditation is experience always.